welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. My name is Katie, and today I'm here with my weekly WIP and Chat. WIP stands for Work in Progress, and Chat stands for Chat. So feel free to work on a project alongside me. I'm going to be diamond painting and chatting with you guys a little bit. I do these WIP and Chats every week and try to have them go up every Monday. I have a little bit in the way of extenuating circumstances this week, and I'm hoping that this is actually going to go up on Monday as intended, but it's going to depend a little bit on how the internet decides to behave because I'm traveling, and I will tell you all about that in just a little bit. But we do have a slightly different setup tonight. The lighting is different, just a lot about this is a little different. I have my usual kind of recording arm, but I did forget my mic, and I am hoping that the audio is going to be sufficient enough. So what I am working with and on today, I am working on the kit Ember the Sky Dragon from Diamond Art Club, and it's by the artist Pixie Sticks. It's actually my friend Kate, and this is just a little snack size kit, and I have lots of thoughts about it, and I want to talk more about it in just a bit. But as far as accessories go, you guys have to be honest, I kind of just grabbed what was handy, easily accessible that I could just throw in my bag to go, because packing my diamond painting stuff was kind of one of the last minute things that happened. I was prioritizing other things, and so otherwise I would have tried to let me grab some tools that'll be variety, because in my WIP and Chats I really try to showcase different shops and different tools and those sorts of things, and really most of what I have for you today is a repeat from last week as far as accessories go. Oh, excuse me for yawning. I am so unbelievably jet lagged. My body doesn't know what to make sense of as far as time goes. But anyway, back to the accessories. This is the pen I did use last week. It's from Swampwood Pens. The tray is actually, this is from Munimade. It's one of the very few small size trays that I have from Munimade. This is actually from Summer with the Masters 2022, an event that I co-host. And have for a few years now. Then I just have a random roll of washi tape that I use the skinny washi tape to section off my canvases with. And this is Not Your Mama's Mud in the scent Feelin' Peachy Cream, and then putty from Randa's Crafty Corner in the scent Butterscotch Cookie Dough. So I actually do need to clean out this tip pretty badly and put some fresh putty in. This is, I think, from last week. Yeah, this is the putty that I started out testing in last week's WIP and Chat, which this is from Bunny X Productions, and I'm incredibly happy with it. This is the same putty that's been in since last week, and I've done a lot of diamond painting. I'm just going to change it because the timing is good. Honestly, I could just, mix up the putty a little bit and keep going, or just continue using it as is. I don't feel like I have to change it, but I'm going to anyway. But yeah, so hello, how are you doing? I hope that you're having a wonderful week, and I feel like there's a lot of you that are being potentially impacted by some really bad weather if you're in the US. And this Arctic blast that's coming through, as they're calling it. And so I very, very much hope that you are staying safe and warm, and I am sending you all of my positive thoughts and warmth. It's been, yeah, there's been a whole thing with how my flights are being affected by the Arctic blast and all this, but I'll get into that in just a little bit. But yes, hi, how are you? I finished up La Lune, which I think we were working on together in last week's WIP and Chat. I did finish that shortly after, and this is interesting to work with these accessories and tools like the putty and the wax, I think, in a very different climate than I usually do. It's something that I tend to note when people ask for recommendations for putty or wax, especially if they comment saying, oh, I've tried, such and such putty because, so many people swear by it, but it just doesn't seem to work for me. And sometimes I say, unfortunately, it can just be because of your climate. situation, and I'm in a wildly different climate situation at the moment. I'm in Ohio, and so I'm like, oh yeah, no, the putty is behaving just a little bit differently. I didn't bring a measuring tape. I'm just eyeballing it, and I'm gonna tape this off. That makes saying eyeball it makes me want to make this. It's a really, really, really incredibly vague reference. If you are a video gamer, you might get this reference, but it would involve you having to stand around and listen to like a background NPC conversation when you are not required to. I'll make the reference and I will absolutely die of delight if anyone gets this reference. But I was gonna say, you do not eyeball it. And it's a reference to one of my favorite video game franchises. The hint that I will give is that it takes place in space. Yeah, no, it's a just random, very, very random thing, and I'm sorry for the randomness. Okay. Oh, as far as storage goes, you guys, I thought, what's something I can easily pack in my backpack or carry on for storage? I really don't want to work out of baggies. And so this is a set of the 1x1 containers that I had used with my Loki conversion project. I had kitted that down, which means I just took all the drills out of the storage containers, and I was like, actually, this could be perfect because this kit just has 20 colors. This is a nice size. I'm just gonna take this one. And so here we are, it's working fine. I still don't think that I would reach for these containers over others, but they're doing the job, and that's what's important. So it's been interesting to travel with the kit. I did not attempt to do any diamond painting on the airplane this time. Holy static. Okay. But I brought this little snack size kit, and I also brought a paint gem mini set, which I have over here. And this one is the Doors edition, but I haven't actually worked on it at all, but I did use it as a place for me to store and tuck the accessories that I brought. I took the toolkit out of there that came with that set, with the paint gem mini set, and I replaced that toolkit with some of my preferred tools to work with. As far as I wanted a pen, I wanted a slightly bigger tray. I just was like, I don't want to work with a basic toolkit. I am too high maintenance at this point to do that. But I did decide that I really wanted to work on this painting, so I actually kitted it up last night, which, by the way, I'm filming this on Saturday evening. Everyone else is in bed, but I kitted this up last night, Friday evening, and my mom was sitting and chatting with me and watching, and she was telling me that she wants to like get a diamond painting to do when they snowbird to Arizona in February and March, and she was asking like, okay, so should I get like any accessories? And I was like, Mom, I'll put together a care package for you. And I was like, I'm so sorry. She had sent me a text about it like a week or two ago, and I had just flat missed it and forgotten to absorb and respond to it. But she had said as much then, and I was like, man, I wish I would have paid attention because I would have just brought you a whole set of stuff. So I said, no, I'll mail you some things. I have plenty. And I recommended, I was showing her, I was like, okay, so actually these two things that I brought, I feel like are extremely beginner friendly and might be kind of what you're looking for. And not this specific kit, she's not like a, super into dragons or anything, but I said either a paint gem mini set or one of these snack size kits from Amazon, I feel like could really be just what you're looking for and asking for. But she's like, it might be nice to have should I get like a better pen? Should I get a better tray? And I was like, I got you. I will set you up. I have so much. I have so much. And you're my mom. Like, no, don't go buy anything. I will put together a little package for you. But yeah, so I was kitting this up last night while she was chatting with me and kind of watching, and I was talking about the craft and YouTube and stuff, and she's so sweet. She's probably gonna watch this, honestly, at some point, so hello, Mom. She's so sweet and so supportive, and I guess she's always like watching my channel to see, like, she'll be like, oh, I saw that you broke this many subscribers. That's congratulations. That's so cool. I'm like, oh, we love a supportive mom. So I kitted this up, and then I just did this kind of bottom third, because even when I'm traveling, love to diamond paint to decompress. And I don't feel obligated. It's not like, oh no, I have to diamond paint or people are gonna be upset with me. No, 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 no. It's just, I really darn love diamond painting. And I just don't want to go even a few days without it. But I did have quite a bit of decision paralysis. I've been struggling a lot with decision paralysis the past couple weeks. But after, even as knew that I was coming up on finishing La Lune, I was so torn on what kit do I want to work on next. I very strongly considered kitting up Love Bard. I haven't ruled it out. I really have not ruled it out. I might still get home and decide to kit up that kit. But I had sort of this past week decided that I wanted to incorporate my next level obsession with dragons into this year of diamond painting somehow, where it's not a part of my culture, but I enjoy learning about it and just sort of knowing about it. Is like the Chinese zodiac and the Lunar New Year is all, it's always something that I've enjoyed sort of knowing about, and I try to tread very carefully in terms of like I never want to take part in cultural appropriation because that is not my culture. I'm not, yeah, it's not part of my culture. And so I fully acknowledge that, but I still thought, how fun would it be? I mean, I was born in the year of the dragon, which I absolutely love, given my obsession with dragons. And this year is the year of the dragon. And my husband was like, you should just say this year that you're in your dragon era. And I was like, isn't that every day though? He's like, yeah, but you can embrace it this year. And I said, good point. Okay. But I thought, I'm not going to do like a year of the dragon themed event or something like that, because that feels like it's not my place. But I thought, what I could do instead that would be fun is just sort of, how about I just work on a dragon diamond painting? Like one dragon diamond painting kit each month this year. And I'm like completely sold on that idea. And I think I'll do like a video related to it each month. I don't know that I'll necessarily it's not gonna be an event. I don't know that I'm gonna do any giveaways. At least that's not what I'm thinking right now. Asterisk, this could change because I have been flighty in terms of my decisions about things lately and had lots of decision paralysis about things, like I said. But I just like the idea of really spending some more time working on the dragon related diamond paintings in my stash. And so I thought that it would be really fun to kind of have this one be my kit for January. And it also helps sort of check off one of my unwritten goals for 2024 of working on one of the kits that Kate Pixie Sticks has licensed with Diamond Art Club. 'Cause I mentioned in my not my year in review video, I think when I was talking about goals, last week, and thoughts for 2024, I was like, I realized I didn't work on a single kit of hers in 2023, and that's a crime. That's a crime, I tell you. So I like working on this one a lot. But I was torn. I was like, or do I want to work on like a bigger dragon diamond painting kit? Or, I was really torn. Or I was like, do I want to work on Love Bard and then work on a dragon diamond painting towards the end of the month instead? I don't know. I couldn't decide. I finished La Lune, and instead of making a decision, I had a few days before leaving for this trip, and I decided instead, how about I just pull out that cross-stitch conversion project and make some more tracks on that fourth panel. And that's exactly what I did, and I am about halfway done with that fourth panel, which I'm super proud of. I did approach it differently this time. Maybe I'll try to, if the stars align, which means if I feel like it, work on my cross-stitch conversion project with you guys in next week's WIP and Chat, and I can share sort of some of my learnings and what I'm doing a little bit differently with it. Working on it now after having worked on my Loki conversion, I feel like it is going a little bit more quickly and efficiently, and that makes me really happy. So, but yeah, that's coming along. And then we were coming up on leaving. It's literally the day before we're leaving, and I'm sitting here going, what do I want to take with me to Ohio? I'm not packing out my cross-stitch conversion and taking that with me. I'm certainly not flying, like taking that on the airplane. It's not something I could work on the airplane if I wanted to. And I did want to have something that I could work on the airplane if I wanted to. But mostly I just didn't want to transport all of those diamonds. Nope, not interested. So, and then I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna take this dragon kit and start on it. I just need to stop being so indecisive. But yeah, I'm thinking with kind of these maybe monthly videos, it'll either be like a review or an unboxing of a kit. And I wanna like, this will give me like the year to sort of enjoy buying and tracking down various like dragon related accessories and whatnot. And I'm excited. Like I'm a little bit like a dog with a bone. Like when I made that, I sort of came to that realization that this is what I wanted to do. And now I'm feeling pretty set in it. Like, okay, yes, perfect. This is how I can just do all the dragon things without committing to doing a whole event and all of that, and still give myself, yeah, like space and time to do the things that I like to do, especially here at the beginning of the year. So yeah, I had sent some pictures to my mom actually last week, speaking of dragon things. Starbucks has some special Year of the Dragon themed, like they have a cold cup, a couple of cold cups, or is it a cold cup and a hot cup and like a mug? And there were two of them that I was like, oh, I really want these. And so I had sent a couple of pictures to my mom and just said, hey, like I know that these are going to be really hard to find. I went to like 6 different Starbucks in one morning last week. Most of them said that they hadn't even gotten in their shipment yet, and so that's why I didn't let myself go out again this week. But I did send pictures to my mom and said, I'm on the hunt for these. If you happen to see them like at a Starbucks, could you pick them up for me and I'll like pay you to mail them to me or whatnot. Well, she found one for me, and she happened to find it in the airport when she came to pick us up. And so I was delighted. I was like, okay, one down. It was the cold cup. But I still want the mug. There's time. It'll come. It will come. I'm not letting myself freak out, but it was like a moment on Monday morning where I just all of a sudden was like, I'm on a mission. I want to find these so badly. I drove to like 6 different Starbucks, which, I mean, I live in Southern California. They were all within like a 5-mile radius of where I was. But I was like, oh great, another hyperfixation that is just gonna hold me in a death grip until I achieve the thing. Then I was able to kind of like breathe and let it go. Okay, most of them haven't even gotten their shipments yet. There's time. I just need to slow my roll. But when my mind gets on something, yeah, no, good luck shaking it. But yeah, just give me all of the dragon things. One of my goals, maybe for the plane ride back, maybe one of the things I could do is I'd like to go through my gems flow and actually sit down and make a list of all of the dragon related kits that I own. And I don't want to try to map out like one for every month, because goodness knows that various companies are releasing dragon kits regularly. That's not me with insider info. That's me going, this is like dragons and fantasy are popular. There are regularly new dragon related kits coming out from various companies at any given time. So I want to leave space to work on new kits as they come in that I love. And, but at the same time, I do want to kind of look at my stash and go, okay, are there any of these that I think would be really, really fun to get to in, sometime this year that maybe I could earmark, especially if they're ones from like small shops that, I want to make sure I'm showcasing small shops as well. So yeah, my brain is going on this, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. And I'm rolling with it. While that's where the dopamine is, we're going to follow it. But you guys are, of course, welcome to join along with me. I have some other dragon-related ideas. I will share when I have like more progress made on them. But I don't know. I'm happy with this idea and with rolling with it. And like I said, you guys are obviously welcome to work on dragon kits alongside me, or just in general. The more dragons, the merrier. So yeah, those are just some general like diamond painting related updates. As far as content goes, I did I did consider a little bit just sort of taking off the weekend from putting up any videos or even filming this video. And I decided not to for a couple of different reasons. One was because I felt like I had the margin, and like I wasn't burning myself out to film ahead a little bit. And then I really was, like I mentioned in last week's WIP and Chat, I was holding very loosely if I would attempt to film a WIP and Chat here at my parents' house. I thought, well, like I know everyone is going to be in bed before I am. And so if I'm just kind of hanging out and not tired and not ready to go to bed yet, why not? Like I'll just sit and chat with you guys and catch up while I do some diamond painting. And so, you know, it worked out that way. I didn't feel like, oh no, I have to. But a little bit sometimes I'm a little wary of taking a break, like taking actual time off from even posting any videos. I have a bit of a rhythm that I'm in at this point where you guys get almost every week, you're getting 5 videos a week from me. I usually take off either Tuesday or Wednesday, and then I take off either Saturday or Sunday. On the rare week, you might get 6 videos from me. On the rare week, you might get 4 videos from me, but 5 really is about consistently where I'm at. And I wonder sometimes if that truly does make a difference in terms of like the YouTube algorithm and what it likes to push, if it really just somehow is reading into sort of schedule and volume of content, if that makes some sort of difference. I have truly no idea whatsoever. But I do know that I don't know, I still can't help but sort of wonder, like, would I suddenly, I don't know, would I get penalized by YouTube or something if I did take some time away? And believe me, truly, if I felt like I was burning myself out or in like that my mental health was taking a hit, it's fine. I would take a break. I wouldn't worry about what the algorithm is going to do. But I just am sometimes curious and think, well, you know, I feel like if I can, I really should continue putting up videos. And sometimes wonder how much you guys rely on that sort of consistency as well. I think a lot of times, like, I really enjoy the consistency of like, oh, I know that so-and-so's WIP and Chats always go up on, you know, this day, and, or, oh, this person's like weekly Patreon vlog always goes up on this day. And there's a couple of different actually Patreons that I'm a member of that, yeah, their vlogs go up on Fridays, and I look forward to that. I'm like, oh yay, I get to sit down on Friday afternoon and sort of cap off my week with sort of catching up with my some creator friends. And so I love the consistency both for myself and you guys, I think, of doing weekly WIP and Chats on Mondays. But I don't know. A lot of my other content during the week is pretty, it always kind of depends. Like, besides, you know, if I have a Diamond Art Club sneak peek that goes up on Fridays, you know, there's that. But otherwise, what exact kind of video I put up during the week varies wildly. I mean, I try to balance it a little bit and be like, well, I don't want it to be all unboxings or all reviews. Let me try to have a little bit of a sprinkling of variety in there. And so, yeah, it's just, I just wonder sometimes, like, okay, at what point does it seem like, oh, it's a good idea to take a little breather? It's been a while since I've really, honestly, like, taken any length of time off from posting. Like, even taken, like, a week off or a few days off. I don't know. I'm not sure, but that was kind of on my brain. Yeah. But I'm here. And like I said, I don't feel like I'm exhausted or pushing it or anything like that. I just love, I genuinely love, well, diamond painting and chatting with you all and catching up. I was talking a little bit with my family, it was my brother and my mom, about how, you know, I have created a bit more sort of structure around, you know, my videos and diamond painting and stuff. And my mom asked, she's like, do you still enjoy diamond painting, or do you feel like that's been, like, now it's more work than anything? I said, oh, no. I am obsessed with diamond painting. It still brings me tons of joy, and it's so relaxing. It doesn't feel like an obligation. It's just very, very, very enjoyable. I think it helps that I sort of pick for myself and follow my nose with like what kits I feel like working on. I don't get too caught up in like, you know, oh, and this doesn't really ever happen. Honestly, I don't usually have companies telling me like, can you work on one of our kits? We'll send you a kit, but can you work on it? I mean, we need you to work on it immediately. That's not really something that I typically get into. And so I think maybe that helps, the fact that I get to ultimately like decide what kits I want to work on, and I gravitate towards ones that I do enjoy for the most part. Sometimes I take on challenges that I go, what was I thinking? And then I might feel kind of burnt out on the craft then, but it's really my own doing, because I'm always like, ooh, let me try this thing, let me try this new thing, and ooh, let me test out this new thing. But that pop though, you guys, oh my gosh, I love this. My feet are freezing right now. I should have put on socks. I'm so not used to cold weather. My body doesn't know what to do at all. I'm realizing like, oh, my feet are really, really darn cold. But yeah, so I am currently in Ohio. Like I said, I flew here on Friday, which is yesterday for me. And it is just a whirlwind visit. I am delighted that I was able to book this last minute trip. I talked about it last week I almost said the vlog, no, in my WIP and Chat. Earlier in this video, when I referenced last week's WIP and Chat, did I say it wrong? Did I say last week's vlog? Sorry, you guys. Weekly kinds of videos have very similar sort of things that are talked about and similar in tone. Did I get all of them? I think I did. That outline looks so good. Oh, sorry for the glare. I have little control over the lighting options here. I did not travel with lighting. But yes, so in last week's WIP and Chat, I mentioned that I had booked a last minute flight to Ohio just for me and my oldest kiddo to see my family and do kind of a belated Christmas celebration with my side of the family, with my parents. And my brother flew in, and his partner couldn't fly in. She had to work, and grab another color. So it's just kind of like my OG family unit, my brother, my parents, and me, and then Connor, my oldest, my 8-year-old. And I'd gotten really lucky where like Southwest was running an amazing sale on flights out of a particular airport near me, and I had a lot of points that were saved up, and so we came back. And oops, wow, okay. Sorry. Everything went smoothly with travel getting here. It was really fun to travel with Connor. He was just so cute. He was so stinking cute. He was even delighting the people around us. They were very, very tickled. On our second flight, as we were getting onto the plane, we were entering the plane, he asked the flight attendant that was standing there, how long is this? How long is this flight? The flight attendant said, oh, an hour and 54 minutes. And Connor was like, okay, thanks. And then we start walking down the aisle to find seats, and he goes, hour and 54 minutes? That's amazing. Not bad. And the people around us kind of started to chuckle. And he said something else cute that I'm forgetting what exactly he said. And I just said, oh, Connor, you're amazing. And a couple people around us were like, yeah, Connor, you're amazing. And there's a really sweet lady that sat next to us on the second flight that she was like on her way to Ohio to help out her daughter, who was going to be induced with twins this week, and so she was flying in to help. And so I was like, oh, I had the feeling she sat next to me because she saw like me and my kiddo, and I was like, I bet she's a grandma. Like an actual grandma. She just gave that energy, and just sort of the kind of fondness that she looked at Connor with. I was like, I bet she's a grandma. And then sure enough, so flights went really smoothly. We did have to get up quite early on Friday morning, quite early. We were up at 5:30 California time. And neither of us really slept on either of the plane rides. We had a connection in Austin, Texas, with a really quick layover, and we were landing in Ohio by, dinner time. And we picked up pizza from the pizza place that like we always ate at when I was growing up. I'm like, I can't believe this is still here. So I grew up in a very small little farm town in Ohio. Not looking to dox myself. I almost said like specifics. No, so it was a little farm town. Very, very different from where I live now in Southern California. But I have lots of affection towards where I grew up and the town that I grew up in, even though there are a lot of things about me that I feel like have really changed sort of from the dynamic and everything here. I have mostly fond memories and associations with growing up here. But yeah, this pizza place that we went to basically every Friday night, still there. And my mom had asked my brother and I, like, do you guys want to get, this pizza? Do you want me to like make something? And we were both like, oh, no, let's get this pizza. Like, we haven't had it. Maybe we got it last year when we came for a visit. We had that and it was so delicious. Oh my gosh. And then we all crashed. I decided not to try to like fully convert us to Ohio time, which is 3 hours ahead of California. I just thought it's not practical to switch us over to Ohio time and then have to switch us back. So I was like, we'll kind of split the difference a little bit. So like Connor went to bed late Ohio time, a little bit late Ohio time and a little bit early California time. Is someone texting me? Oh, never mind. And that's worked out okay. He was a little cranky today though. I think he's feeling the jet lag as well. I had a hard time keeping my eyes open earlier. It is what it is. And then we are flying back to California on Monday. And unfortunately, I had to change our flights around. Our original flight plan was gonna have us leaving at like 12:30 noon. We were gonna get to sleep in a little bit, get up and go to the airport. It was gonna be kind of no big deal. Well, I got a notification from Southwest yesterday, or was it earlier today, saying basically like, hi, you are, we're supposed to connect through Dallas. And it said, we're anticipating that this airport is going to be affected, like flights could be affected due to the, what are they calling it? The Arctic blast that's going through the U.S. I think it's kind of starting, maybe, it depends on the city. I'm seeing like Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And so they just said like flat out, we're expecting that this could impact flights. And they're offering, they're like, we will, for zero additional cost, no matter what like the additional cost, the cost difference would have been for these other flights, we will rebook you on any of these other flights to like through a different city. And unfortunately, none of these options were ideal. 90% of them were flying into cities that were also said to be impacted by, they were anticipating to be impacted by this storm. And I thought, well, do I roll the dice and pick one of these cities because the times are better? Or it was like St. Louis, Chicago, a couple of different Texas airports, which I guess both of those are anticipated to be impacted, and there are a couple others. Oh, Denver, and it was all these places are expected to be really hit by this storm and this freeze. And so I thought, well, do I go through an airport that's like they are used to snow, like Denver? Probably it has the infrastructure to handle defrosting planes or handle, inclement weather of this kind. I said, but what about if it's like planes that are coming from other places are impacted? So I thought, okay, my options then were basically we can connect through Phoenix, Arizona, or Las Vegas. Both of those were not looking to be really impacted as much by this freeze. And so, but the other thing was that either, one of them has us leaving at super, 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 super early. Like, we'd have to get up before I normally even go to bed, California time. And then another one had like a 4-hour layover and got us home kind of late, and Connor's going to school on Tuesday. So I ended up rebooking us on this flight that is going to leave at like 6 a.m. on Monday morning for us to get to the airport on time. It's going to be so incredibly early. We're going to land like in the morning, like well before lunchtime, California time. And Adam thankfully has the day off work. I had checked with him first and said, do you work Martin Luther King Jr. Day? And he's like, no, I have it off. And I said, perfect, because I just need to know that I'm going to be able to go back to bed when I get home and not have to be in charge of trying to keep the kiddos quiet while you're working. So I'm just gonna grin and bear it and hope we can sleep on the plane. Really hope we can sleep on the plane, especially Connor. He just generally has been, it's been a very low stress travel trip. Connor is just very easy. He's older, and has been actually a lot of fun to travel with. He's really incredibly into airplanes right now. And I really appreciate, by the way, someone in last week's WIP and Chat had commented that like, oh, Southwest does all these really fun things for kids. You should, talk to the gate agent and see like if there's anything they can do like with Connor. Unfortunately, they were so incredibly busy that I couldn't even, the line to like talk to the gate agent in both airports was so long. I just thought, well, I guess this isn't quite gonna happen. And then we ended up running just a little bit late, getting to our connection and on the way here, that we didn't have time really to try to like stop by the cockpit after our flight. We had to like really jet out to get to our connection, which is okay. Connor was still really enjoying it. He loved like takeoff and just sort of watching out the window a bit, and then he settled in and he watched a movie at one point and played on his tablet. And yeah, so I'm hoping and praying that our trip back goes smoothly as well. I'm still a little nervous that even though we're not flying into airports that are supposed to be impacted, I'm nervous that it's like, what if the plane that we're supposed to be getting on, in our layover, what if the plane, wherever it's coming from, is affected by the storm and it doesn't show up? But I thought, well, at least we'll be on that part of the country. We'll be close. So as long as we out of Ohio, okay, hopefully that'll do the trick. And I just thought, what do I want to do? Do I want to lose out on sleep by having to get up really early? Or do I want to risk getting stranded in this Arctic blast situation? So if you are in, if you live somewhere that's going to be impacted by the storm and the freeze, I will be very much thinking of you and sending you, oh geez, almost threw my pen, positive and warm thoughts, and just wishing you the very, 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 very best. Keep us all posted, okay? Oh gosh. So Micah, my youngest, stayed behind with my husband in California, and it seems like everything has been going pretty smoothly on that front. I did have some anxiety about leaving my youngest because I feel like, my husband's amazing with him. He is, and Micah adores him. Of course he does. But I just feel like I kind of speak Micah's language on a level, and I just get him and get his brain in a way that I'm not 100% sure that Adam does, but that's kind of just part of what I do. Like, as I'm the stay-at-home mom, that I am sort of the one that most of the time is taking care of his needs and just sort of doing all the things. And so I will just say I do have more experience in sheer hours in a day. I don't think he's capable or anyone else. It's not that I don't think anyone else is capable or that anyone else won't love him and take care of him. It's more just like, there's some things that can be tough about like communication or getting through some transitions. And I just feel like I kind of get it. Like I can get a read on him and figure out how to navigate those kinds of situations a lot more quickly and easily than anyone else can. And so I have had some anxiety about leaving him just because I went, okay, this is going to be several days. And And I just, you know, I'm just going to trust that it's going to be fine. It's really going to be fine. I need to not worry. And it has. It's been great. And I had sent Adam a video when we were out eating at dinner, and Micah had heard Connor's voice in the video and came running over to look. So I think Micah's going to be really excited when we come home. Even though we won't have been gone for that long, I think he's just going to be really, really happy to see us. Oh my gosh, though, I felt so bad for Connor. He's just the sweetest, sweetest little boy with like the biggest heart ever. We were on the airplane on our way here, and Adam had sent me a text saying like, oh, Skip is our cat, but is really especially Connor's cat, said, oh, Skip, I think misses you guys. Like, he's been really affectionate and making sure, you know, demanding lots of pets. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. And so I just mentioned to Connor, like, oh, Skip is getting lots of pets from Dad. And Dad said, like, he misses us. And Connor was kind of quiet for a minute. And then he said something like, can cats come on airplanes? And I said, well, they can, but it's, he's like, why didn't we bring Skip with us? And I said, well, you know, cats can come on airplanes, but it's not very comfortable for them. They have to be in a carrier, and flying can be kind of scary and stressful for cats because they don't understand what's going on. And so I said, that's why we left Skip at home, but he's happy and he'll be excited to see you when we get home. And Connor was just kind of quiet for a minute. And I was, I think, texting Adam back about something, and I heard a little bit of a sniffle, and I look over, and Connor just has these big tears running down his face, just kind of silently crying. And I was like, oh my goodness, buddy, what's wrong? Are you okay? And as soon as I sort of acknowledged that he was crying, then he really fell to pieces. And I just started really crying, and then he went, I miss Skip. And my heart just shattered. Oh, that little boy, he is just the sweetest, sweetest kid in the world. And then, it was just so, I just felt terrible. He was just crying for a little while and just couldn't, you know, he just needed to feel some big feelings about it. And so talked through it, and he's okay. And he's been fine since. He hasn't brought it up, and I have very carefully made sure not to talk about Skip at all. And I asked, you know, in the midst of him me talking him through kind of being upset, I'd asked, do you wish that I wouldn't have said anything about Skip? Is that what made you sad, is when I told you what Dad said about Skip? And he said, yeah. I said, I said, do you want to look at pictures of Skip? And he said, no, I don't want to, you know, hear about what Skip's doing while I'm gone. I thought, okay, that's fine. That is completely fine. Totally valid. So, and he really has been fine since. But I love his very sweet little heart. We had fun tonight. We went over to a Japanese steakhouse, which is, I was telling my parents when we were there, I said, we don't go out to eat, especially not to a sit-down restaurant. We don't go to these because with my youngest, it's just not really practical. It's not really doable. We'll just get takeout, you know, get order to go. But Japanese steakhouse, like, the whole point of it is that it's kind of like this whole experience. Like, they cook it all in front of you, and usually they make like a show out of it. There's some like silly elements to it. And Connor had never been to one before. And so we got to go to a Japanese steakhouse tonight, and Connor was amused. He did not love, like, there's this part where they pour oil on the grill, they drizzle oil on the grill, and then they like light it on fire, and there's just like this big, you know, plume of flame. And Connor was not a fan, and I was like, okay, well, that's the last, there's no more fire, that's the only fire that there is here. And he was like, I didn't like that. But then he was amused, like our chef was doing some fun things with the eggs, and he was giggling and highly amused by that. And then it was like, I just got to sit and eat like hot, delicious food. And it was so good. I got steak and shrimp with fried rice, and so good. Chef's kiss. And as far as plans for tomorrow, Sunday, we don't have anything really nailed down. I'm considering suggesting that we go to Kosai with Connor, which is Columbus Science Center. I'm trying to remember what it stands for. COSI's been around since I was a kid. Like I remember going to COSI when I was really little. And it's still around. They've done lots of like really cool things with it. And we took Connor and Micah when we were here last year this time. But it's really different when you're going with just an 8-year-old versus like an 8 and a 5-year-old. And so I thought, oh, that would be really fun, but it's kind of expensive. And so I'm torn. I'm like, do we want to do that? Or do we just want to find some other things to do? So we'll see. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we'll end up going or not. We're just soaking up every moment of family time, and I am really incredibly happy that we were able to make this happen. So my heart is full. I've had some like emotions though, because my parents are talking about like at some point they probably in the next few years they're looking at kind of downsizing. And I mean this home, like, I mean, they built it when I was in kindergarten. Yeah, like we moved into this house when I was in kindergarten. And so it's like, this is my whole childhood. And I have quite a lot of attachment to this home. And so I'm going to be an absolute disaster whenever they go to actually sell it. Like I'm just going to be an absolute mess. We've been kind of going through things. We've been trying to do this really on and off, like since my brother and I have like, moved out. Is usually each time we're back for a visit, which is usually just 1 or 2 times a year. Our parents will have like different things. Like, okay, can you go through this stuff and see what you want to save? Okay, this trip, can you go through the desk? And so earlier today we were going through books. And that was quite a trip down memory lane. And I was able to, sign off on like, okay, I don't need to save, several books, but then there were a lot that I was given as gifts by my grandma on my dad's side, and she passed away when I was pretty young. But I have a lot of books, and she signed them in the front and often wrote a note. And so I want to save those. And some of them I packed up to bring with me back to California because like Connor or Mike are the right age for it. There's one book that I have that it was my dad's book when he was a kid. And I remember just loving this book. I don't even remember the name of it now. It might have even just been called like the Egg Book, and it was talking about like different animals and how they like lay eggs and stuff. But it was really cute. No, it was super, super cute. But like my dad's name is in the front of it, and then there's a note from like my grandma that says like to Katie, and has the year. She wrote like the year in it as well. And I love that I have that, and I'm so nostalgic that I just immediately like, okay, anything that was from grandma, so-and-so, not giving you guys my maiden name. I really do want to, I need to keep these, and some of them I am going to go ahead and take back. So yeah, I don't know. I'm like, I don't want to grow up. I don't want you guys to downsize. I just want you to live in this house forever. I need this house to be here forever. So yeah, it'll be an adjustment, but one step at a time. I do have lots of emotions just surrounding being home, and wishing that we lived closer a lot of the time, and that sort of thing. So I'm in a tiny bit of a maudlin headspace about that, but that's okay. The week leading up to us flying out was pretty uneventful. I did get a call from the school to come pick up Micah. I think that was on Tuesday. He had gotten sick at school, which was really unusual. And but of course I came and I picked him up, and he really was basically fine the rest of the day and had no fever. He didn't throw up again, nothing else going on. And they had said, well, if this, as long as this only happened like the one time, it doesn't happen again, he can come to school tomorrow if he's symptom free. And you guys, he was bouncing off the walls, eating normally, doing all the things. And like something just must have weirdly disagreed with his stomach, because he seems perfectly fine. And I am very conservative about, I don't send my kids to school sick because I'm not looking to get other kids sick. Like I don't want to send my kid. I always think of it as if I were the other parent, would I be okay with me sending my kid to school, like with this, whatever their symptoms are, how they're feeling. Basically, like, I'm trying to put myself in the other people's shoes. I don't want to get anyone sick. So I sent him the next day, and then I got a call from them to come and pick him up because they said, oh, he seems fatigued, and a little warm. Because I went and picked him up and he seemed perfectly fine. I was like, I don't want to doubt the word of like the teacher and aides, but I was like, I don't see it. I don't see a reason for him to have needed to come home. And so I sent him back the next day and just said, I was like, I'm sorry. I don't see, I'm looking for a reason to keep him home and I don't have one. And they said he had a better day. I didn't get a call that day. But then I was like, I'm going out of town on Friday. And so if something comes up, like you're gonna have to try to get a hold of my husband, who, yes, he'll be watching his phone, but like he's got like lots of work meetings and stuff going on. And so I just was basically telling him, like, please don't be looking for a reason to send my child home, which kind of felt like what they had done the second day. But again, I believe them. I believe them. If they felt like he was behaving unusually, I'm going to take their word for it. I'm gonna trust that they called me in good faith. Like, I'm not trying to doubt them. Teachers and aides have a really darn hard job, and I absolutely respect that. So I don't mean to downplay that whatsoever. I think that honestly, probably Micah was just adjusting to being back to school. Like, he'd gotten to sleep in over winter break. It doesn't matter how early we put him to bed, that kid loves to sleep in the morning. And so getting back in the swing of school, even though we had tried backing it up, waking him up earlier, stuff like that, it still was an adjustment. It was always going to be an adjustment for him going back to school. So I just thought, I think he's just adjusting. Like, this has happened in the past, and then he falls asleep for you guys, takes a little nap at school, and then he wakes up and he's fine. So, you know, is what it is. So as far as what I have been reading and watching and listening to, I finished the show One Piece, and not the anime, the live action adaptation. I really enjoyed it, and I would be lying if I said I wasn't considering trying out the anime, because I really did enjoy it a lot. It also has me, between that and it being like the Year of the Dragon, with the Lunar New Year coming up, particularly with the Lunar New Year coming up, it's making me want to reread Fruits Basket, which a couple of you, I think, brought that up. Yeah, a couple of you brought that up in the comments of last week's video. And I was like, oh no, like that was, Fruits Basket was my introduction to manga and then anime. I didn't watch anime. I might have watched some anime before that. It was my introduction to manga. And I picked up the series when it was, I think it was only like 10 books in, at the time, 10 volumes in. And then how many were there in total? It was close to 30. I don't remember. But I still have all of them. And I thought, ooh, I feel like I'm due for a reread. This would be a really, really fun time to reread it. And they had like one version of the anime that had come out, you know, when the manga was coming out, but they like didn't really properly finish it off at all, and it ended well before like the series did. But then just a couple of years ago, or a few years ago now maybe, they did another pass at the anime, and oh my gosh, I was so glad that they were able to do that. It was so good. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Like I said, first introduction to manga, and I feel like that is like a good intro series, honestly, and I adored it, absolutely adored it. So yeah, probably due for a reread. I actually have a piece from the from the original iteration of DIY Moonshop, Die Moonshop, that is by Cherryuki, that is Fruits Basket fan art, that is kind of a rainy day kit, but I should see if Jaded Gem Shop would license that, because I think that one may have come out when the renderings started getting dicey, so I'm not sure. It'd be fun to do it justice. But yeah, and then is anyone else, like any other Our Flag Means Death fans, so bummed to hear that it did not get picked up for season 3. I've heard that there are some petitions circulating trying to get, it's on Max, right? HBO Max, now just Max, trying to get them to pick it up for a season 3, but I am not optimistic. I'm sad about that. I really enjoyed that show. But yeah, that's kind of been what I've been watching. And then reading, still not a lot, you guys. Still not a lot as far as like traditional books go. Though beware, any of you that are looking forward to reading the third Crescent City book that's coming out at the end of the month. Apparently, the whole book got leaked on like Twitter and or Instagram and TikTok. So please, please, please be careful out there. And that's just, that just sucks that happened. I'm avoiding spoilers like the plague. And I hope that I don't get anything major spoiled for me. And then listening to, it's just in Taylor Swift on shuffle again. We're just back to the usual suspects here. I have thought about trying out like a free trial of Spotify, because I mostly just buy my music and have it on my phone. I don't want to pay a monthly fee when I tend to listen to a lot of the same music anyway. I'd rather just own it. But I have considered like branching out and picking up Spotify to sort of stretch my tastes a little bit more. Listen to some variety, but so yeah, those are those updates. And as far as what I have planned for this week, I think I'll have a sneak peek. I had to turn down like a thing or two because of traveling, and then I will have maybe some unboxings. I really need to actually do a small shop haul. I need to decide if I want to do a post review on Laloon, given that like that company isn't around anymore, and it's at least not in its usual like that sort of iteration with that manufacturer and that sort of thing. I don't know if I'll do a full post review video on that piece, but I'll see. I'll map some stuff out maybe on my flight home. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on. But I was worried that I wasn't going to actually have anything to talk about, or rather that I wasn't going to have enough to get us to like an usual hour-ish length of a WIP and Chat, but oops, let me just hit that recording up. Here we are, you guys. We put a nice little dent in Ember here. But yeah, this was fun. I hope that it's okay that I had a different sort of setup this week, but I wanted to come on and talk. So thanks for letting me, come on in and chat with you a bit. I hope that you are doing very well. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, how about one of the airplane or travel related emojis, since I am abroad. I'm not home and filming this at home. So yeah, you guys, let me know how you're doing down in the comments and what you were working on, and I'll let you go. I will hopefully be back with just sort of my usual format and setup of WIP and Chat next week, and look forward to chatting with you then. Have a day and a week that is as amazing as you are, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.